Here we have the marble contact paper I was telling you about. I've got a bunch of different little scraps because I've been using it on lots of different projects. But see, it's pretty cool. It really looks real. So we're going to cover the letters in this. And how you do that is you take your wood letter, put it face down on the back side of the contact paper, like this. And then just do a quick trace. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just get a basic outline for it. Okay. See how I've done that? And then I'm going to cut this little chunk out. The curl on this is kind of a pain in the butt to try to video and show you guys, but okay, so I've got my G cut out from the big piece. Now what I'll do is I'll kind of just give it a quick trim around, leave a nice space around your tracing so you don't cut it too small. And then next we're going to flip the letter over onto its face and add the paper. Okay, so just get that peeled back if I can. There you go. Lay it on top of your letter. Make sure all of your wood is covered. You can flip it over and see how close I got to that edge, but it's still all covered, so we're good, doesn't matter. Now you're gonna wanna give it a good firm pressing so that you're sure that the contact paper is nice and attached to the wood. And then once you feel like it's on there pretty good, you're gonna come and trim it. So just trim around these edges. You're basically trying to get some of the bigger stuff off, and you're gonna come back with an X-Acto knife and clean it up. But I like to get some of these bigger chunks off. It's easier to work with that way. And again, you don't have to get that close just yet, because that's basically what your X-Acto knife's gonna do, is clean it all up. And I could cut around that, but I'm actually just going to use the X-Acto knife because it's just easier. So next, this is my X-Acto knife. I love this X-Acto knife. I've had it forever. So you're going to find your edge by pressing down on your contact paper. See how I've made, you can tell where my edge is right there. And then you're going to take your knife, pierce the outer layer where you know wood is not close, okay? So then take that, and then you just use the wood as a guide. You do not press into the wood. You just let it slide alongside. This X-Acto knife should just slide along. You should never force it. If it stops, you should stop, or you'll take a chunk of wood out. Just trim around. Okay, and then I would kind of like to just cut that whole chunk out so that I can keep working around the letter. See, I've got that. Then you can turn it around and you can really see where you need to focus your efforts and stuff. So then just keep pressing down. I find my edge. I take the little edge of the X-Acto and break an entrance line. And this is going to be kind of jaggedy, like these letters are actually cut in an old farmhouse type font. And so let me grab one that's not. See how its edges are kind of like square and just, they're kind of irregular. So that's a little bit harder to perfect. You need to go a little bit slower because your lines change. If you were just doing a straight edge letter, you could just follow that line and fly through this. The cool thing about this trick is you can literally put this contact paper on so many things that might need a facelift. So if you have like wood shapes, if you have metal shapes even, you can put the contact paper over it, and the same process, oh, this is sticking all over to my hands. The same process is going to be what you use, but see how good I got that edge all cleaned up? Then I'm going to come back. I'll need to get all of that all around through here, but it's cleaning up super nice. Again, just let the wood be your guide. Don't force it. You can come back and get little pieces after you've done the main majority. And make sure also that you don't pull like any pieces, because you could end up pulling the whole thing off. Just be really careful pulling off what you've cut. Especially if there's little pieces that are still attached. You could pull up stuff that you don't want taken off. See how that goes? And then you can see right here, hopefully I can get in there and you can see, I have like some rough edges. So you just take your X-Acto knife and slide it really softly over it. And it cleans up perfect. And I got, see, another rough edge right here that I'll get. And a lot of the time, I'll have these letters pre-painted because it actually does help with the contact paper sticking. As you can see, these are just the natural wood. I didn't paint them this time, but you could pre-paint them. You just want to make sure that it's not like an oily, it won't have like an oily base or anything. You want it to be a nice gloss kind of finish. This sticks really well to that. Matte would probably be a little less easy, but it would still work. But if I had the choice, I would probably use a gloss paint just for better adhesion. I'm going to show you something I've already put this marble on. It's a number 1 that I had cut out for a birthday party and just stuck that paper on, and I got a marble number 1. It's pretty cool. Okay, we're all done. All of these letters, oops, have been covered in marble. So, pretty easy. I will lay them out so you can see how they all look. And there they are. And next I will paint the edges, but ideally you'd already have it painted so you wouldn't even have to mess with keeping the paint off of the marble contact paper. But I wasn't quite sure at the time that I started this what I wanted to do with the edges. I actually kind of thought about glittering, and I might still do that. But here is the finished product. This is a super easy craft, and you can really turn anything into fake marble. Like, here's that number one. Here, I'm gonna get these. See if you guys can see it that I did. And then, like, I have this circle that I did. Yeah, it's just a piece of wood. And then I had painted it already, like I was telling you guys, silver. But you could choose gray, you could do white, you could even do this dark charcoal, whatever color you want your edges to be, and you're good. Hope you guys enjoyed learning how to do this. I'm painting these edges real quick, just in case anybody waits and decides to do it afterward. Again, it is easier to just have this letter painted white and then stick the contact paper on. But I didn't really know exactly where I was going with this, so that's why my edges aren't painted yet. This is the paint I'm using. It works really good, and it's only one coat. A lot of the white paints that you can get, it's like you have to work really hard to get a nice thick coating. You have to usually go back at least 2 times, sometimes 3. So I'm just painting along this edge. The more the brush fits on the however big your edge is, the better. Any paint on the edge, just wipe it off with your finger. But there is the painted edges. And I plan on finishing the rest of them, and we'll move on to the project that's going to include these letters.